Hi there. I want to ask you something, and I hope you'll answer it honestly, just for yourself. Have you ever felt your body getting weaker, in a quiet kind of way? Not from pain or injury. Nothing dramatic. Just one morning you stand up from your chair and notice your legs feel a little shaky. Or you walk across the room and think, why am I tired already? No big warning. No flashing sign. But deep down, you know something's changing. Most people call it getting older. It's a word we've heard our whole lives, but after over 30 years of caring for people over 50, I've learned something deeper than that. Sometimes what you're feeling isn't just age. It's something real, something medical. It's called sarcopenia, a silent loss of muscle that often starts after age 50. I once had a patient named Bill, 68 years old. Strong guy. Used to walk the park every evening. But one day, he told me, "Doc, I don't get it. Stairs feel heavier lately. I'm not in pain, but I feel weaker." We ran the tests. No heart problems, no joint issues. It was his muscles, quietly shrinking. Not because he did anything wrong, but because sarcopenia doesn't shout. It creeps in slowly. It makes simple things harder over time, lifting, bending, balancing. You know what breaks my heart the most? So many people never even know it's happening. They just say, "Guess I'm getting old," and move on. They don't realize if caught early, if we make just a few small changes each day, this process can be slowed, even reversed. And no, I'm not talking about going to the gym 5 times a week or eating like a pro athlete. I'm talking about simple things, drinking enough water, getting up to move every hour, adding a little protein to breakfast, getting good sleep. Muscles don't need you to be young again. They just need you to stop forgetting about them. Let me paint a picture. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning. Stretch gently. Sip a warm glass of water. And instead of sitting down, you step outside. Walk around the yard for 10 minutes. You feel your muscles waking up, your heart finding rhythm. And more than anything, you feel in control again. Like your body is working with you, not against you. Strength isn't just in your arms or legs. It lives in how you care for yourself, in the small, quiet decisions you make every day. And today, you can start with just one. Because whether you're 55, 65, or 75, your body is still listening, and it will always respond when you choose to care for it, gently, patiently, consistently. Now let me ask you this. Think about your last meal. What did you eat for breakfast? Maybe a slice of toast, a cup of coffee. Lunch was probably something light, maybe soup or some fruit. Dinner, some rice, vegetables, a little fish. Sounds healthy, right? Filling enough. Balanced. But did it really nourish your body the way it needs, I ask? Because in my clinic, over the past 20 years, I've seen this pattern again and again, especially with patients over 50. We don't get enough protein. And the response is always the same. "Oh, doc, I don't work out. I don't need protein. Protein's for young people or bodybuilders." Or simply, "I eat just fine. What could I be missing?" I get it. I used to think the same thing. But the truth is, after 50, our bodies change. Quietly. Bit by bit. Imagine this. Every year after 50, your body loses muscle even if you don't notice. You walk a little slower. Standing up feels harder. Your arms aren't as steady. Why? Because your body doesn't build muscle from protein like it used to. Even if you're eating the same foods, your body can't rebuild as efficiently. I had a patient named Helen, 62, full of energy, loved gardening and morning walks. She thought her diet was perfect: oats, fruit, greens. But she began to feel off balance. Back aching when tending her flowers. When we looked closer, she was only getting 40-50 grams of protein a day, far less than her body needed at her age. Have you felt that way too? Like you're doing everything the same, but your body feels different. That feeling has a reason. And sometimes, just one small shift, like adding enough protein daily, can wake your body back up. You don't have to eat like an athlete, but you do have to feed your muscles so they don't go hungry. Research shows that after age 50, your body actually needs more protein, not less. At least 1.2 grams of protein for every kilogram of your body weight every day. So let's say you weigh around 60 kilos. That's about 132 pounds. You'd need roughly 72 grams of protein a day. That's almost 50% more than what a younger person might need. Sounds like a lot. It's really not once you get the hang of it. 1 egg, a piece of chicken breast, a cup of lentils, even a glass of unsweetened soy milk. It adds up quickly. Because here's the truth, feeling full doesn't always mean you're well-nourished, especially when it comes to your muscles. You might not feel the effects of low protein today, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, your strength, your balance, your independence, your ability to walk, grip, climb stairs, those all begin with what you feed your body today. So the next time you sit down to plan your meals, I hope you'll pause for just a second and remind yourself I'm feeding my muscles not for looks, but for life. You deserve a strong body at any age, and that begins with one small choice every single day. Choose protein. Choose you. Let me ask you, are you eating enough protein for the version of yourself you want to be tomorrow? It's something worth thinking about. Now I want you to picture something really simple with me. You're sitting in your favorite armchair. Maybe it's in the living room. The afternoon sun is coming in through the window. Remote in one hand, warm cup of tea in the other. You stay there, through one episode, then another. And when you finally stand up, your legs feel a little stiff. Your knees feel heavy. You take a step, and it's not quite as smooth as it used to be. Ever felt that way? One of my patients, Mr. Thomas, he's 72, once told me, "Doc, I don't do anything heavy. I just sit and watch TV. But lately when I get up, I feel off balance, like I might fall over." I asked him, "How long do you sit during the day?" He laughed and said, "I don't count, but probably most of it." And that right there is what so many people don't realize. When you sit too long without moving, your body starts to misinterpret the signal. It thinks, maybe I don't need these muscles anymore. And you know what happens when your body thinks that it starts shrinking muscle mass, especially in the places you need it most to stay upright and steady? Your legs, your hips, your core. Those areas are your foundation. What helps you stay balanced, climb stairs, get off the toilet safely, and not slip on a wet tile floor. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't rest. Of course, your body needs rest. But when you sit for hours without standing up, without stretching, without doing anything to wake your muscles up, that's not rest anymore. That's shutdown. A study published in the journals of gerontology found that in people over 60, long periods of sitting are linked to faster muscle loss, a higher risk of falling, and slower recovery from injuries. And here's the part that surprises most people. You can exercise in the morning, but if you spend the rest of the day sitting still, your body still counts that as sedentary. We have a saying, use it or lose it. And with your muscles, that couldn't be more true. But here's the good news, and I want you to hear this clearly. You don't need to work out hard. You just need to stand up. Every 30 to 40 minutes, get out of your chair. Stretch. Walk around the house. Hold onto the armrest and do a few slow sit-to-stands. Even standing in place, gently lifting your knees or shaking your legs a bit, it all sends a signal to your body. Hey, I still need these muscles. I often tell my patients, Think of standing up as a little thank you to the legs that have carried you all these years. Even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, your muscles are still listening. And sometimes standing up just a few times a day is the first step toward protecting your independence, your balance, and your freedom. So, are you ready to stand with me today? Before I go, I want to ask you one more thing. How's your sleep lately? I'm not talking about, I napped a few hours or I woke up 3 times, but eventually dozed off again. I mean real sleep, deep, uninterrupted, restorative sleep. The kind where you wake up in the morning and say, you know what? I'm ready for today. One of my patients, Elaine, she's 69, once told me, Doc, I don't get it. I eat well, I walk every day, but I wake up sore. My shoulders ache, my back's stiff, and my legs feel like jelly. I asked her, how many hours of solid sleep do you get each night? She shook her head and smiled. I sleep, but not deeply. It's all restless. And that is something I want you to remember. Your body doesn't heal while you're awake. It heals while you sleep. You can eat, stay active, drink your water. But if you're not sleeping well, your body can't fully rebuild. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone. It's one of the most important factors for muscle recovery and repair. So the next time you think rest is just about closing your eyes, remember, quality sleep is just as vital as movement and nutrition. It's the third leg of the chair. Without it, everything wobbles. And now, I'll leave you with this. You don't have to change everything overnight. But one choice today. A little more. Protein. A few more steps. A better night's sleep can lead to a stronger, more independent tomorrow. You don't need to be young to be powerful. You just need to show up for yourself one small step at a time. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed your sleep getting interrupted, waking up in the middle of the night, having trouble falling back asleep? When that happens, your body doesn't get enough time to do one of its most important jobs, repair. And over time, you begin to feel it. Your muscles ache more after simple activity. Your legs feel weaker when you first step out of bed. And your strength, it just doesn't bounce back the way it used to. I get it. At our age, sleep isn't as simple as it was in our younger years. Sometimes it's a midnight bathroom trip. Sometimes it's stress. Sometimes it's just biology, our internal clocks shifting as the decades go by. But that doesn't mean we're powerless to improve it. I always tell my patients, sleep isn't a luxury. It's a vital part of living well. Just like breathing, eating, or drinking water. If your sleep has been shallow lately, start small. Turn the lights off a little earlier. Put your phone away from the bed. Have a warm cup of herbal tea. Create a quiet, calming space. And if you can add a simple wind-down ritual, a few deep breaths, soft music, or even just a few minutes of stillness. Now, you might be thinking, can a few good nights of sleep really make a difference? I believe it can. I've seen patients just a few weeks after improving their sleep come back with lighter steps, brighter moods, and a sense of control they thought they'd lost. They didn't become young again. They didn't cure everything. But they felt more like themselves. Every good night's sleep is a quiet miracle. It's your body repairing, restoring, and supporting you without you even noticing. And if your goal is to stay strong, steady, and independent as you age, start by protecting your sleep. Because sometimes what your body needs most isn't another workout or another pill, but simply the chance to heal the way it knows how, through deep, restful sleep. Now pause for a moment and think back. When was the last time you stepped outside early in the morning? Not to rush somewhere, not to drive, but just to breathe, to stretch your legs, to feel the sun warm your skin. How long has it been? One thing I've noticed in my older patients is this. They slowly start spending more time indoors. Closed curtains, lamps instead of sunlight. And they don't think much of it. But the body notices. After 50, sunlight isn't just a comfort, it's nourishment. You see, early morning sun is the body's main way of producing vitamin D. And vitamin D might seem small, but it's a powerful friend. It helps keep your bones strong, your muscles active, your balance steady. It helps you absorb calcium and keeps your joints and muscles moving the way they should. Without it, you might feel tired for no reason. Your knees may ache, your back may start to complain. You might even feel like you're getting old faster than you should. I once had a patient named George, 68 years old, lived alone, soft-spoken. He told me, "Doc, I barely go outside anymore. I've got everything I need right here. And besides, I'm too old to be out in the sun." But George started feeling pain in his lower back. Sometimes he'd trip over his own feet in the house. We ran a test. His vitamin D levels were dangerously low. Not because he ate poorly, but because he no longer let the light touch his skin. Have you ever felt that way? Sluggish for no clear reason. Joints stiff even when you're doing your best. I want you to imagine this. Every morning when the sun gently touches the earth, your body, your skin, your bones, your very cells are waking up too. Just 15 to 20 minutes of morning light. It can make a world of difference. It helps your body create enough vitamin D. It strengthens your bones. It improves your muscle endurance. It even helps prevent falls. And no, you don't need to sunbathe like you did as a kid. Just step outside when the air is still cool. Let the light hit your arms, your face. Take a walk. Water your plants. Or just sit quietly and sip your coffee. Your body still needs light, not just to see, but to thrive. And as we age, morning sunlight becomes a silent companion, one many of us forget. So next time you wake up before you flip on the TV or reach for your phone, I hope you open a window. Step outside. Feel a real morning again, because sometimes the most healing thing isn't found in a prescription bottle. It's found in the quiet strength of early sunlight, gentle, steady, and full of life. Just like you. Have you greeted the sun today? I hope you will. For your health and for the you that's still ahead. Have you ever felt this way? One of my patients, Mr. Martin, 67, once said something that really stuck with me. He said, "Doc, I still take my morning walk every day, but lately, just turning my shoulders a little makes them pop and crack." I asked, "Do you stretch or rotate your joints during the day? Reach, twist, loosen things up." He chuckled. I figured walking was enough. And honestly, a lot of folks think just like Mr. Martin. Now don't get me wrong, walking is fantastic. I recommend it every day. But if you want to keep your muscles strong and your body moving freely after 50, walking alone isn't enough. You see, your joints are the hinges of every movement. And if you're not using them in different ways, rotating, stretching, bending gently, they start to stiffen. When your joints stiffen, the muscles around them tighten up too. That's when you're more likely to strain something, or even get injured. And little by little you might find that simple things like turning your head, bending over, or climbing stairs start to feel harder, and sometimes even painful. Science has shown this clearly. Mobility, the ability to move your joints smoothly, is one of the key factors in maintaining strength and preventing falls as we age. It helps blood flow better to your muscles and joints. It keeps your nerves and muscles working together in harmony. I always tell my patients, walking is the foundation. But every day, give your body a little more. Rotate your wrists, roll your shoulders, stretch your hips, reach up like you're greeting the morning sky. You don't need anything fancy. just stand up, stretch out your arms, gently twist your torso. Bend forward slowly. Reach your arms back and open your chest like you're welcoming the sunlight. These small movements done consistently make your body more flexible, reduce pain, and most importantly, help you stay in charge of your body and your daily life. You might think, I'm too old for this. How much can it really help? But I've seen it. Time and time again. People regaining their flexibility without surgery, without medication, just by gently moving their bodies again. In the way the body was always meant to move, because your body doesn't ask for perfection. It just wants to be heard. And sometimes one simple shoulder roll is your way of saying to your body, I still need you. And I still believe in you. Now let me ask you something else. Have you ever felt truly down, really low, but couldn't quite explain why nothing major had happened? But you just didn't want to get out of bed. No appetite, no energy, no desire to talk or do anything at all. And gradually, you started to feel weaker, slower, more tired, like you were carrying an invisible weight. Have you ever felt that way, I ask? Because I've seen this so often, especially in my patients over 50. It's not that they don't care about their health. They eat well, exercise, take their meds on time. But they forget one thing, their emotional health. One patient of mine, Maria, 71, widowed, living alone, came in complaining of dizziness, poor sleep, forgetfulness, and no appetite. But as we talked more, I realized it wasn't about medication or diet. It was about meaning. She said, I just don't feel like I have a purpose anymore. And here's the thing, emotions, though quiet, can have a loud impact on physical health. Science backs this up. When you stay in a negative emotional state for too long, whether it's sadness, loneliness, or feeling like life has lost its spark, your body starts reacting. Stress hormones get released. Sleep gets disrupted. Appetite drops. You feel too tired to move. Then your muscles weaken. Your bones lose strength. Your immune system takes a hit. And before you know it, a single emotion has triggered a downward spiral. That's why I always say to my patients, without a healthy mind, the body struggles to stay healthy too. So imagine this. You do all the right things. Eat well. Exercise. Take your meds. But if you wake up each day with no joy, no connection, no reason to smile, all those efforts feel hollow. Your spirit is the soil where your health takes root. If that soil is dry, no seed will grow strong. So today, I'm not just asking you to check your blood pressure or blood sugar. I'm asking you to check in with your heart. How has your heart been feeling lately? When was the last time you truly laughed? Are you living or just repeating the days? Let that sink in. And give yourself permission to tend to your emotional well-being just like you would your body. Because you deserve a life that feels full, not just a body that works. If you've been feeling like you're slowly retreating from the world, I want to gently say, don't be afraid to open up again. Call an old friend. Sign up for that painting class you've always wondered about. Volunteer at your local library. Or just take a walk and smile at a stranger along the way. Anything that wakes up the human inside you is also quietly healing your body. Because sometimes the best medicine for your muscles doesn't come in the form of a supplement. It comes from a hug, from a genuine laugh, from a small, meaningful reason to get up in the morning and say, today matters. Let me ask you something. Have you checked in with your soul today? If not, it's okay. Now is a perfectly fine place to start. Take a moment with me. I want you to reflect on something simple. When a branch withers, we often blame the harsh weather. But sometimes the real reason is this. It just hasn't been watered enough. Our bodies are the same. Many people assume that weakness, muscle loss, or poor balance is simply part of aging. And yes, age does play a role. But after over 30 years in this field, I've learned something powerful. Muscle doesn't just disappear because of time. It fades because of the little things we do or don't do each day. One of my patients, Helen, she's 72, once said to me, "Doctor, I go to all my appointments. I take my meds, but I still feel myself weakening, like I'm losing strength, week by week." So I asked her, "Helen, do you drink much water?" She paused, then laughed. "Actually, I kind of forget." I encouraged her to start small. Add an egg to breakfast. Stand up and move around every hour when she's reading. Keep a small water bottle nearby. Nothing big. But a few weeks later she came back and said, "I feel like I've come back to life." See, change doesn't have to come from something big. You don't have to join a gym or follow some strict diet. It can start with a glass of water, an egg in the morning, a few minutes of movement instead of sitting all afternoon. Science tells us clearly muscles don't just need protein or exercise. They need repetition, repetition of care, repetition of attention, repetition of the tiny actions we tend to think don't matter. At this age, we're not chasing perfection anymore. But the amazing thing is, your body still responds as long as you treat it with kindness, even through the smallest acts. You don't need to be anyone else. You don't need to be 30 again. You just need to be a little better today than you were yesterday. And soon enough, those little sips of water, those short walks, they start to add up, building strength, not quickly, not dramatically, but truly. Because I believe, and I've seen it over and over, health doesn't come from magic. It comes from habit. Let me ask you something simple. What do you think strength really is? Is it the people lifting heavy weights at the gym? Ripped muscles? Marathons and high-intensity workouts? If you asked me, a doctor who's walked alongside thousands of people over 50, I'd tell you this. After 60, strength isn't about muscle. It's about rhythm. It's about routine. It's about being kind to yourself every single day. Strength at this age isn't loud. It's not the sound of upbeat music in a fitness class. It's the sound of your knees quietly cooperating in the morning. It's the ability to rise from a chair without needing help. It's being able to cook your own meal, take a peaceful walk through your garden, or drive over to visit your grandkids without feeling wiped out. Strength after 60 is the ability to stay independent. I remember one patient, Richard. He's 74, not a gym guy, never cared much for sports. But every morning, he takes a 15-minute walk around his neighborhood. In the afternoons, he gardens. Once a week, he cleans the house, washes dishes, and takes care of his wife, who's still recovering from a stroke. When I checked his health stats, I was amazed. Everything was stable. His muscles weren't huge, but they were steady, flexible. He was on hardly any medications. When I asked for his secret, he smiled and said, "I just do small things. Every day. Not a lot. But I don't stop. You see, strength doesn't have to shout, but it does have to show up. And most of all, it begins with how you treat yourself. I know. Sometimes we think it's too late to start taking care of ourselves. Or we say, "What's the point now? I'm already this age. How much more time do I really have?" But here's the truth. Every day you wake up is a new chance to begin. And you don't have to overhaul your life. You just need to believe that you still matter, that your health still matters, that your small actions still count. And they do. I promise you, they do. But I want you to imagine this. If every morning you gave yourself just 10 minutes to stretch, if you simply stepped outside and let the morning sun touch your face. If you made sure your body got enough protein, not to be young again, but to stop the decline from speeding up. If you drank enough water, went to bed a little earlier, and smiled just a little more. Then your body, no matter how many years it's seen, could still be strong in its own beautiful way. Not strong in the way of outrunning anyone, but strong enough to not be left behind. By your own body. You know, there's something I've always believed: living a long life is a blessing. But living a healthy one, that's the real gift. Because we're not just wishing for more time. We want that time to mean something. To make our own coffee. To tie our own shoelaces. To pick out a birthday gift for our grandchild. To go to the market, cook a meal, and feel like we're truly living, not just existing. So if you're watching this video today, I want to tell you truly from my heart, you still have strength. No matter your age, you just have to begin. Gently, steadily. With kindness toward yourself. You don't need to start by hitting the gym. Start by standing up from your chair and reaching a little higher than you did yesterday. Start with one nourishing meal, not because you have to, but because you deserve to feel well. Start with a quiet morning under the sun, listening to the birds and telling yourself, I'm still here, and I'm going to take care of myself every single day. Host smiles warmly, eyes full of hope. If you found this video helpful, I hope you'll like, share, and subscribe to this channel, created just for you, for those living through the most meaningful, most profound chapter of life. Here we don't talk about aging as something to fear. We talk about it as a journey to be honored with small, manageable steps that hold deep value. Because you don't need to be young again, you just need to be well so you can fully live each day. I believe you can do this, and I'll be right here with you, one video at a time. See you again soon. And don't forget, real strength begins with you. Before we wrap up today, I want to leave you with something you won't find in any medical textbook or health seminar I've attended over the years. It comes from ordinary life, where I see most clearly the beauty and meaning of health in our later years. Not long ago, I was sitting on a park bench near my home. An elderly woman passed by slowly. She used a cane, her shoulders slightly stooped, but her eyes were bright. Walking beside her was a little girl, probably her granddaughter, chatting away about school. The woman didn't say much. She just nodded and smiled. But you know, what I saw something so powerful in her strength. Not the kind of strength that lifts weights or runs races, but the strength of presence. The strength to keep walking, the strength to listen, the strength to not miss out on a meaningful moment with her granddaughter. She didn't need to move fast. She didn't need to do much. She just needed to be there, steady, alert, full of love. And in that moment, I realized, this is why we care for our health after 60. Not to beat the clock, but to extend the quality of the time we still have. So that one day, when our children and grandchildren look back, they won't just remember us for how strong we once were, but for how deeply we stayed connected and present until the very end. I know sometimes taking care of our health at this age feels like a heavy task. You're tired. You're juggling pills, test results, doctor visits, advice from books and TV. You might think, I've made it this far. What more can I change? But I'm not here to tell you to become someone else. I'm here to help you return to yourself at your strongest, most alive version. Think about it like this. A healthy body isn't just something you do for you. It's a gift you give the people who love you, so they don't have to worry, so they can still lean on you. It's also a gift you give to life itself, so each day isn't just one more day, but a day that matters. And I believe you can do that. Starting today. Real strength in our later years doesn't come from fighting time. It comes from walking alongside time with clarity, steadiness, and compassion for ourselves. It comes from accepting that, yes, some things aren't like they used to be, but there's still so much beauty ahead. And it comes from one simple truth: your body is still listening to you. Every single day. And it will respond if you treat it gently. Now, gentle doesn't mean weak. Being gentle means being patient enough to take that morning walk. It means loving yourself enough to choose a meal that supports your bones and joints. It means being brave enough to say, I want to live well, even if you're 65 or 75 or older. So before you close this video, I want to leave you with a quiet little question. What's one small thing I can do today to take better care of myself than I did yesterday? Maybe it's just standing up and walking around for 5 minutes. Maybe it's calling an old friend you've been meaning to check in on. Maybe it's choosing to add a little more protein to dinner. Or maybe it's as simple as stepping outside, lifting your face to the sky, and taking one deep, honest breath. Because sometimes the first step toward a healthier life starts with the simplest, most human things. My friend, if you're still breathing, still feeling, still hearing these words, then that means one very important thing. You still have a choice. You still have time. You still have strength. And if you're looking for someone to walk with you on this journey, I'm here. Senior Fit is here. We're not just here to give you tips or facts. We're here to remind you of something deeper, that you deserve to be healthy. You deserve to feel joy. And you deserve to live on your terms. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, taking care of your health isn't just something you should do, it's something you deserve. Because aging isn't the end of the story. It's the deepest, most meaningful chapter, so live it with all the gentleness and all the determination you have.